Yes, everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's your morning edition with Connor McGilligan here, One Leeds HQ. We're just strutting about Manchester, heading to the gym this morning. I've got my can of Red Bull, and why is that significant? Well, I'm going to be speaking to Red Bull ex San Francisco 49ers today because I've got quite a simple message, and it's surrounding Jayden Bogle. By the way, before we get into it, everybody, please make sure you're slapping a like on the video. Please make sure, as always, you're commenting your thoughts, subscribing to the One Leeds Fan Channel, liking all that good stuff as I've just mentioned, and yeah, it just helps with the algorithm. And hopefully you're going to catch me tonight on the watch song, everybody. We've got Harrogate Town versus Leeds United, and we're going to see Rothwell, we're going to see Charlie Crew. But I wanted to speak today about standards, expectation. Now, there's been many times on this channel, and I've got several people, you know, blocked and all this sort of stuff all over your socials and on YouTube and all that good stuff, simply because they can't stand my delivery. They cannot stand the fact that I'm negative, pessimistic. Now, let me break down why I'm negative, pessimistic. I've got standards for my football club. I've got an expectation for my football club. And believe it or not, everyone, you might be quite surprised by this, but a lot of Leeds fans don't have expectations and standards for your football team. You know, I grew up in an era of O'Leary's babes. You know, I grew up with Leeds United challenging the top 3, top 4 of the Premier League. I understand things have changed. I understand expectations in a sense have changed, but what hasn't changed is my undying need for my club to reach the top standards that it can set consistently, and it has been waning, this club. It has been way short of those standards for nigh on 2 decades. So when I'm critical, when I'm criticising, and I'm doing it in a constructive manner, sometimes I'm not because I'm just sick of it. But all the time, the end point, the end goal is expectation, standards. And I keep my club standards very, very, very high. And unfortunately, you get other fans, as I've mentioned in many videos, many football fans, you know, listen, football is subjective. And as I've said plenty of times, you can disagree with it. Unfortunately, we have a fan base, a large portion, who are stricken with, it's almost like a disease. It's called sentiment. And this sentiment clouds a lot of judgment, unfortunately. And yeah, there's a reason I'm talking about this. There's a reason I'm mentioning expectation. There's a reasoning I'm mentioning standards and where my club's at. Leeds United, and why this is relevant, have just sold Rasmus Christensen, okay, to Eintracht Frankfurt on loan, annoyingly, with an option to buy, which is a try before you buy, which is not what we want. We do not want that with Rasmus Christensen, as we saw with Roma. They're going to try it and they ain't going to buy it because he's pond water. Standards again, coming back to that. So, now listen, why am I mentioning Rasmus Christensen? Leeds now have 2 options at right back. It's evident because they've moved on him already, that they're not interested in bringing in Connor Roberts. They're not, because they've moved on him already. Roberts is so available, it's untrue. Are Burnley going to be using him next season? Doesn't look like it. And if they are to use him, they're still going to be looking at in January or the month or the window afterward to move him on. It feels like he's very surplus to requirements. Okay, they've not moved on anyone else, but we have retained Sam Byram. Sam Byram, who is, once again, let's come back to that word, standards, an average, below average championship footballer who's dependable for about 30% of the season. So that key word again, standards. You need a right back who is going to be unequivocally good, available and dependable. Okay, so we've set our sights. Leeds United, according to the Sheffield Star, the most reliable publication in Sheffield, have almost a personal term agreement when it comes to Jayden Bogle. The player wants the move. He wants to leave Sheffield United. He has 12 months left on his deal. And they've even brought in a replacement who is our player, or was our player, in Jamie Shackleton, right? He started for them in pre-season. Sheffield United fans are all putting Shackleton into their starting 11 for the beginning of the season. And what I'm seeing from the Leeds United side of things, even though I'd mentioned a third bid yesterday, I'm not privy to negotiation, but that was the rumour. I'm seeing silence at the minute. And what we've got to be really, really careful of is not waiting too long for this, because I'm not having a meltdown right now about signings, about this, that and the other. What I am worried about is they need to get rid of these fringe players, understandably so, but then they need to replace quickly, because Jayden Bogle has 12 months left on his deal. Leeds didn't want it to get out. It's got out from the opposite side, which we always speak about in football. Doesn't seem to be Leeds now. They're not leaking it, but what maybe certain individuals aren't aware of is the fact that this is going to come out from other sources. We heard from Chris Beasley the other day some details on Willie Gnonto that I didn't know. He came on the channel. Sheffield United side of things. Look, it's pretty obvious from their understanding that Leeds are in for him. They put 2 bids in for him. It's fine it not coming out from the Leeds side, no problem there. But it's come out from the Sheffield United side. So it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Leeds are in for him. Okay, so a third bid's going to be interesting. But you've got the wages off the books when it comes to Rasmus Christensen now. We don't have a right back at the club. We have Sam Byram, who is just not on the level. We know he's not on the level. I'm not having a conversation about this. I can't be bothered with it. If you genuinely believe Sam Byram is of the level of Leeds United going up in the top 2, you're completely deluded. And that's not even subjectivity. That is just plain delusion and sentiment. And I'm not even entertaining that as a conversation. Leeds have got the money now. We've been told we've got the money from the Archie Gray deal. We've got Red Bull, which is the most lucrative deal in EFL history. We've annihilated the fringe of the squad, which is a good thing. Cresswell's gone for money. Rocker's gone for money. Llorente's gone for money. We're at a point right now, and Kamara's gone for 9 or 10 million euros. We're at a point now where we need to see what we haven't seen from Leeds United in yesteryear, which is us moving quickly to get Jayden Bogle wrapped up, because 12 months left on his deal. And the reason I mentioned it coming out from other sources, everybody, is because other clubs are going to be aware of this. Other clubs are going to be aware of this. And my opinion on what is changing Jayden Bogle and what is turning him towards Leeds United is simply the fact that he wants the Leeds move. He wants the Leeds move. So it's there. 12 months left on his deal. It is the most open goal you can ever get when it comes to transfers. Leeds have got no excuse now. They have to go do Jayden Bogle. And if they don't do Jayden Bogle, I'll be brutally honest, it will make me extremely nervous, because it's an open goal. The Sheffield Star have reported it. Pretty much every publication associated with Sheffield United in that region are saying Leeds have had 2 bids rejected. If they're not able to go and get him now, after Archie Gray leaving, who was a standing right back last season, Connor Roberts leaving, who was the replacement, Jed Spence, obviously, who was with us for around about 2 months. If they're now not able to prioritise that position and go get Jayden Bogle because they're 2.5 million quid apart, 100% that's when I'll start being a little bit concerned, especially with the fact that the club have essentially said to us that we're in a healthy position when it comes to money. So go do Jayden Bogle. Rasmus is out the way now. Leeds have got the ability to go get someone who is a runner, who is, once again, dependable, but is absolute quality at this level. Go get it done, Leeds. That's my message this morning. Catch you tonight.